The old house still sits vacant on the barren lot, waiting to be torn down. The family that rented here for years has moved up the street to a new house, a simple, decent house they helped build and are now buying. The cold nights they spent last winter huddled behind these drafty windows and the rainstorms they endured beneath the leaking roof are all just memories now. Already, they have begun to build a new life, a new future, and a new hope. When people think of the LC Valley, they may not think affordable housing is an issue. The truth is, many families struggle on the average income in the valley and are unable to afford adequate housing for their family's size and needs. To afford rent for a 3-bedroom house in Lewiston or Clarkston, a family of 4 would have to make over $45,000 a year to spend less than 30% of their income on housing. Nearly half of all the residents in Nez Perce and Asotin counties would qualify for a Habitat house based on income. 14% of the families living in the valley are living below the poverty line. Meet Brooke Hallman, a Habitat owner and partner with Habitat. Brooke found herself in 2006 desperately trying to feed her family, pay her rent, and keep the household together after her husband's job had been reduced from full-time to just 20 hours per week. Brooke had stopped by the county offices to apply for food stamps when she first saw the Habitat poster advertising an upcoming informational meeting about qualifying for a Habitat house.
Of all the people in the valley, there was no way they would pick us, I said to myself. But later I decided to make the phone call and received an application. Even after I got the application, it just sat there on my kitchen counter and I didn't fill it out until the very last minute. I had to call my mom in a hurry to come over and watch the kids when I decided to apply because I had to get it in that day. When the family selection committee came over with flowers and balloons to tell us we had been selected, it was one of the greatest moments of my life. The house has meant everything to us and has allowed us to create some stability for the whole family. Our Habitat house has been the best thing. After we moved in, the kids started to enjoy school more. There were fewer doctor visits and we had enough to eat, even for snacks when the kids brought home friends from school, which they never used to do. Through Habitat, I learned more about budgeting and finances. I was able to save a little bit, and for the first time in my life, I feel in control. I've started to become involved in the community, involved with Habitat as a volunteer, and more involved with my kids' school than ever before. My Habitat house has made all the difference.
Brooke now serves on the Habitat Family Selection Committee as a volunteer and has recruited several other successful candidate families. Brooke and family moved into their new home in December of 2006, just a few days before Christmas, and they celebrated the holidays in their new home. By partnering with families, churches, businesses, and individuals, Habitat International works to eliminate poverty housing the world over. Habitat International has completed house number 500,000 in its worldwide quest to witness a world where everyone has a decent place to live. Habitat builds homes in all 50 states, Mexico, Canada, and 80 other countries around the globe, and currently begins a new house somewhere in the world every 10 minutes. The housing crisis is not just in other countries, however. An estimated 95 million Americans do not have access to acceptable shelter. These families struggle through life without heat, clean water, proper sanitation, a solid roof, or stable walls. Imagine having to choose between paying for a doctor to treat your sick child or being able to make rent or pay your power bill. Families here in the Valley are faced with these kinds of choices every day. Founded in 1991, Lewiston Clarkston Partners Habitat for Humanity has built 30 homes in the last 20 years, bringing affordable, energy-efficient, comfortable, and safe homes to some of the families in need. Our goal is to build another 10 homes in the next 3 years, but if we are to realize that goal, we need your help. There are a variety of ways to help. The Habitat store is a great place to begin. You can help by bringing donations to the store, which are then sold to the community at discounted prices, and all of the proceeds go to build houses. The Habitat store is also a great place to volunteer. In the store, you will find volunteer floor personnel, cashiers, pricing and receiving volunteers, as well as delivery and pickup assistants. Of course, the job site is another great place to volunteer. Some may think that you have to know how to build a house to volunteer, but that's not the case. Every week, we have volunteers without construction experience helping us build homes. Our on-site construction supervisor will show you exactly what needs to be done and how to do it. You will learn a new skill and help a family in need, all in the same day. We also have volunteers at the job site for landscaping, cleanup, painting, drywall, roofing, you name it. There's a volunteer opportunity for you. We also need volunteers to serve on committees, serve on our board of directors, or help in our office with administrative or other duties. Habitat builds dignity within a family, and we believe that everyone should have the opportunity to live in dignity. Inadequate housing binds a family together in struggle. A Habitat home releases them from this oppression, and they can begin to enjoy self-reliance and self-respect. Habitat for Humanity is not a free program. The selected families must first qualify for the house by meeting a rigorous set of guidelines. And once qualified, the families commit to donating 500 hours of sweat equity into their new home. Most of the families are selected a year or more in advance and are volunteering on house projects that are not their own for many of the 500 hours. Once the family's home is completed, they are required to purchase the home from Habitat, which acts like a mortgage lender and writes a loan with the family at 0% interest. Most house payments are $300 a month or less for the Habitat partner family. Habitat for Humanity was founded in 1976 by Millard Fuller and his wife, Linda, in Americus, Georgia, near Atlanta. The idea of partnership housing has grown from that first house in Americus in 1976 to over 500,000 houses year to date worldwide. Jimmy Carter became involved with Habitat in 1981 and continues his volunteer work with the organization today with the annual Jimmy and Rosalind Carter Build, held in a variety of locations around the world. Habitat for Humanity is an ecumenical Christian-based organization that is seeking to put God's love into action through the building of homes, communities, and hope. We envision a world where everyone has a decent place to live. Habitat does not discriminate based on faith tradition, culture, class, gender, or in any other way. Habitat believes in inclusiveness. We demonstrate that belief through our interfaith builds, by building in areas of the planet that are religiously diverse and reaching out to the world's population in need. We believe in a world where everyone has a decent place to live, and we believe in a world where everyone is a child of God. As a nonprofit entity, Habitat for Humanity relies upon the donations and the efforts of volunteers like you to ensure our sustainability. Without our volunteers, without our donors, without the support of people everywhere, we could not do what we do. Why not give us a call today, 758-7396, to volunteer or make a donation. You can also call the Habitat store, 743-1300, to arrange for pickup of large donations by our Habitat truck. Take the time right now to make a difference for families in need here in the LC Valley. You'll be glad you did. Your generous gift will help Habitat move families out of poverty housing and into safe, healthy, affordable houses. Houses that are near a clean, safe playground. Houses only a few blocks away from a thriving school. And houses that these families will call home for years to come. We build homes, communities, and hope. What will you build?